Bonjour classe, c'est moi madame. Je suis chez moi. Class, unfortunately or fortunately, this is going to be your final lesson of the 2019-2020 school year. Youpee! It's hard to believe. I'm going to ask that you have all of your missing assignments, if you have any, and this assignment that's going to be attached to this lesson turned in by Monday, 3 p.m. at the latest. Everything's got to be in Monday, 3 p.m. Also, be thinking about turning in extra credit if you haven't turned any in this 9 weeks. So for some of you, that could be helpful. And okay, let's get this show on the road. All right, here we go. So last time we were together, we learned about the past tense, which is called le passé composé. And le passé composé, we learned about it, conjugating verbs in the passé composé, and the verbs we learned about were ER verbs. We know that in French there are 3 categories of verbs, regular verbs, ER being the largest category, IR, and RE. To conjugate an ER verb in the passé composé, you need to follow this formula. You need the subject of the sentence, whether it's je, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, il, elle, or it could be something like les élèves, les garçons, le chien, le chat, ma soeur, etc., plus a conjugated form of avoir, ai, as, a, avant, avait, on. That's your helping verb. And then lastly, the past participle. Let's do a quick refresher. I chose the verb acheter off the top of my head. Acheter or acheter equals to buy. There's the ER on the end. That's what makes it an ER verb. Let's create a beautiful sentence with acheter in the passé composé tense. We bought a new TV. So we wouldn't say we to buy a new TV. We'd put it in the past tense in English, and the past participle in English is bought. We bought a new TV. Okay, let's do this. We bought. So we need the subject, which is we, and the helping verb, the conjugated form of avoir. So let's write that down. What is it? Oui. Nous avons. And then now we need nous avons. Now we need the past participle. Here we're going to go to our verb acheter. Get rid of the R on the end. Put an aigu over that final E. So now it's acheter or acheter. That's called the past participle. Nous avons acheté. That's all you do. A new TV. So, does anyone remember? We know that TV, radio are always feminine. So I put une here. Anyone remember how to say new in the feminine form? Oui, nouvelle télé. Boom. Nous avons acheté une nouvelle télé. That's a beautiful sentence in the passé composé. That's all you do. And to make it negative, you're faced with 2 verbs here, your helping verb and your past participle. You take the helping verb, that's the avant. That is your creamy vanilla center. Ne and pas around it. Chocolatey wafer. Make sure you don't put the pas over here because that would make it a double stuff, and everybody knows that doesn't exist in French. Nous n'avons pas acheté une nouvelle télé. We didn't buy or we haven't bought a new TV. Voila. That's your review. Let's go to the homework from the other night. You were to have you were to have translated these little baby sentences. You can tell that I had just discovered how to use the highlighting. So I was having fun highlighting all kinds of things I've learned over all this pandemic crisis. So I put the formula up here, and then I conjugated and made some sentences. Numéro 1, elle a dessiné, she drew, or she has drawn. 2, nous avons acheté, we bought, or we have bought. Vous avez lancé, you threw, or you could say you have thrown, or you did throw. You could say it that way as well. J'ai dérangé, I bothered, I have bothered, I did bother, or annoy. Ils n'ont pas prononcé, they didn't pronounce, they haven't pronounced. Elle a voyagé. She traveled. She has traveled. Tu n'as pas porté. You didn't carry or wear, or you haven't worn or carried. On a envoyé. One sent or one has sent. Neuf. Il n'a pas joué. He didn't play. He hasn't played. Elles ont encouragé. They encouraged. They have encouraged. And voila. Très bien. That's all the time we have on to spend on ER verbs. Just keeping in mind, if you have those three elements, you're in good shape. Remember now, I'm switching gears. Remember all of these little beauties that we looked at throughout the year on our papier jaune, irregular verbs? Well, guess what? Verbs that are irregular in the present tense are also irregular in the past tense. Yippee! I know. So there are irregular past participles that I want to teach you today. So our irregular verbs that we know so far, avoir, être, faire, aller, venir, prendre, dormir, voir, boire, vouloir, mettre, and then we've conjugated all over the place. Their past participles are not going to be as easy as taking off an R and putting in aigu. They're going to be irregular, so you have to memorize them. Go figure. So I would like you to ouvrez vos notes, s'il vous plaît. These are going to be your final notes of the year. And we're going to call this le passé composé of irregular verbs. And there are many of them out there in the Frenchy universe. And there are also even more irregular verbs out there, but you're going to tackle that next year. We are going to do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to learn 10 irregular verbs today. All right, so let me show you what I mean. Our first and most beloved irregular verb that you learned when you were a tiny 7th grader is avoir, and we know that means to have. So the past participle now is going to change. So you're still going to say j'ai, tu as, il a, elle a, on a. You're still going to use your subject and avoir as your helping verb, but what's going to change, what is irregular, is the past participle. So like I said before, you're not going to just cross off the R and add an aigu. It's this part that's going to be different. Okay, so avoir, to have. The past participle is, of all things, eu. I know, isn't that great? Eu. Eu means had. So let's do an example. J'ai eu is I had. Or you could say I have had. So see what I mean? There's your irregular past participle. De. Boire. Boire, we touched on in our food chapter, means to drink. Its past participle is bu. Eu, bu. And that means drank. Or drunk, I guess you could say as well. Let's use the tu as bu. And that means you drank. Or you have drunk, if that's correct English. Tu as bu un café. You drank a coffee. Trois. Être. To be. Its past participle is été. Été. And that means was or been, I guess. Let's use je, tu. Let's use il a été. Il a été. He was, or he has been, or had been. Lots of different ways to say things in English. However, in French, it's just one way. 4. Faire. Remember, fait, is on fait, font, faire is to do or to make. Its past participle is fait. That means did, made. Elle a fait. She did. She made. Elle a fait. 5. Halfway. Lire. Lire, to read. Its past participle is lu. And that means read. Let's see, il, elle, let's do on. On a lu. One read. On can also mean we. We read un roman, a book. 6. Mettre. And mettre is to wear or to put. Like put something somewhere. Its past participle is me. That would be wore, put. J'ai, tu as, il a, elle a, on a. What's next? Nous avons mis. We wore. We have worn, you could say. We wore, we put. Obviously, you're going to have more to these sentences, but I just kept it simple. Nous avons mis. 7. Pleuvoir. Pleuvoir was never an official verb of ours. What does, okay, let me see if you can guess this. Pleuvoir reminds me of il pleut, which is a weather condition. And what does that weather condition mean? Il pleut. Oui, it's raining. Pleuvoir is to rain. Its past participle is plu. That would be rained. And you can only use pleuvoir with il. You know how you have il pleut, it's raining. Remember, il can mean he or it, but in this case, it's it. Il a plu. It rained. Or it has rained, if you prefer. Pleuvoir, you're not going to say I rained, you rained, he, it rained, she, it rained, we rained. You're not going to conjugate with any other subject pronoun. It's only going to be il. Il a plu, it rained. It didn't rain. Il n'a pas plu. Let's see, last 3. Numéro 8, prendre. Prendre. Let's see, do we have that on our paper? Yep. So prendre, this would be from chapter 6, our food chapter. Didn't know if I had it on there. And that's to let's just put eat, drink. It can also mean to take. Like, puis-je prendre de l'eau? And its past participle is pris, or pris. Sorry about that. Pris. Nous, let's go to vous. Vous avez pris. You ate, drank, took, have eaten, have drunk, have taken. Vous avez pris. You had coffee. Vous avez pris un café. 9. Is voir. To see. And voir, the past participle for voir is vu. And that would be saw, seen, I suppose we could say. Vous avez, il plural. Il et elle, O-N-T. Ils ont vu. They saw. They have seen. And our last irregular past participle or past participle of irregular verbs of the day, du jour, is, frankly, my favorite one. Vouloir, from our papier jaune. Vouloir, to want. Its past participle is voulu. Isn't that awesome? And that means wanted. And then our last subject pronoun, il et elle, O-N-T. Ils ont voulu. They wanted. Fin. Classe. Répétez. Eu, bu, été, fait, lu, mis, plu, pris, vu, voulu. Fin. We did it. You know what? Let's make the homework an easy one. I want you to take good notes of what we just did. Take a picture and send it to me. And that'll be our last thing. I'll attach a Google Doc if you prefer doing it that way. And I wanted to remind you that you don't throw away your notes or your workbook for that matter. I would keep everything and then take it with you next year up to the high school. You know, start a new notebook when you're up there if you want, but for a while, you're probably going to need to refer back to it because you've got a lot of valuable notes in there. So please do not throw them away. Before commencement, before your Tuesday or sometime next week, I'm going to just check Google Classroom, or I'll send you a reminder. I'll put out a little au revoir message for you guys. Here ends our last lesson. Let's say our goodbyes. Au revoir, class. Au revoir.